What is going on, guys? Dizzy Aaron here with another gameplay commentary in TerraFirmaCraft. And today, I'm going to be covering pretty much everything else that we missed in the last episode. If you missed that, you're probably going to need that to survive your first day in TerraFirmaCraft. So go ahead and watch that one and then come over here and I'll show you the rest of it. Last episode, we covered how to make all of the stone weapons and tools. So we learned how to make an axe, we learned how to make a stone shovel, a knife, a hoe, a javelin, and I said we learned how to make a hammer, but I don't think we did. So let me show you how to make that real quick. So a hammer is actually done pretty simple. Just like that, you get your hammer head and then you grab yourself a stick, which I don't have down here. But grab yourself a stick, place it on the top. So we got our stick, we got our hammer, now we got a stone hammer. Alright, that's going to be useful as we move out of the Stone Age, because I don't think you guys want to stay in the Stone Age very long. So I'm going to help you guys get out of the Stone Age, and what we're going to need to do is cover how to get ores. So I showed you guys how to get these. Oh, apparently. Alright, so there you go. Get a lot of those. That's what you're gonna do. If you go around collecting all the rocks, a majority of them are gonna be rocks. But like I said, you're going to find all these ores hidden around, like that one. Once you collect enough of these guys, you're gonna start being able to smelt those down, and I'll show you guys how to do that here soon. But for the time being, if you are unlucky and let's say you end up in a part of the world, which does happen, where you can't find any of these ores, there's other ways to get the ores, and it's not going to be mining, because obviously we don't have any tool to mine. As we learned, the dirt is just going to keep caving in, so you can't go mining and you can't knock down rocks that way anyways. So what can we do? Well, let me show you guys. I think this is probably the only other way besides actually mining to be able to get yourself those ores. And what you're going to need in order to be able to do this is a knife, an axe, some logs. As you can tell, I used that building technique using the logs, and all of these are wood logs. So yeah, you're gonna need yourself some logs, and what you do is you just basically, you can do it inside of this little mini thing. Pop yourself a log in there, grab your knife, put your knife in there, and you get yourself some bowls. So let's make a few of those bowls. And what are bowls good for? Well, typically they'd be used for food, making stews, things like that, which we'll cover on down the road, and they're still used for that. But what you're going to be using for is, if you pop them in here, they turn into gold pans, which is what we want. So let's put those gold pans in there. They don't stack, so make sure you got yourself somewhere to put them. Good place to put them would be inside of these chests. And let me show you real quick how to make a chest, because I don't think we covered that last time. Just basically get your planks and you got yourself a chest. So let's make one more. And we will go ahead and place these down. Place them down inside of here. So, alright, put all our gold pans in there. And if you forgot how to make these planks, again, it's real simple. Just grab yourself some logs, put your logs in there, grab the axe, bam, got yourself some logs. Alright, so let's put these away. We're not going to need those now. Alright, another storage device, because you can't put some of your tools inside chests. Like, all of these tools cannot go inside of your chests. So if you want to put them away, you can't. You can put away certain items, but not your tools. So what do we do to be able to put our tools away? Well, pretty cool. You just grab these planks, put them in a straight row, and you get yourself a tool rack. that works with any kind of plank. So if we get some sequoia ones, put them across. Now we got sequoia tool racks. So we got a couple of tool racks. If we were to put down our tool rack, you can place it anywhere basically. So let's just grab a tool rack and we'll place it right here just for the hell of it. All right, so now we can just right click straight onto it. And if you notice, we are putting our tools away. So that's cosmetically pleasing. As you can tell, I've already made a few of them. Put some extra tools that I had on the wall. I did not need those, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll take that with us. So, okay. So now we got ourselves some gold pans. Well, what are the gold pans good for? Gold pans are used for a couple of different things. So let's grab a couple of these bowls, because we are actually going to use them. And we'll put away our potato, our rose, and what else don't we need? We don't need planks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place down this tool rack also, since I don't want it. Alright, so gold pans. Well, gold pans can be used by going into water. And if you noticed, my gold pan is now full, empty, full, empty. So how did I do that? Well, you just grab an empty pan, go up to any moving water source, or basically any water source, and you just right click on it and it fills it up. So if I was to do that with all of these, you're gonna notice that they quickly fill up. And that block is now gone. Alright, so now we have a bunch of gold pans, and the way I found to be able to use gold pans the most efficient, well, let me show you. It's a little thing called a sluice, something like that, a sluice. And the way we craft that sluice, we're gonna need some sticks also. Where'd I put my sticks? It's gonna go in there. You're gonna, let's see if I remember. 3 and a couple of sticks. If it's in the right pattern, we'll give you a sluice. Yes, okay. So I'm just gonna make a couple of these guys right now, because you can't automate anything. Remember that. You can't automate anything, so you gotta be able to work with what you got. And let's grab some of those gold pans back real quick. We'll grab the full ones. Okay. So the way the sluice works is basically it's an old miner's tool. I think that's what it was. An old miner's tool where rocks and gravel and dirt and all that stuff goes over it. And it basically lets you find those ores, these little bismonite and all kinds of fun stuff. And the way you use it is you just go up to any water source and just start knocking it out, and keep knocking it out until you notice that the water stops. Okay, so once the water does stop, you're gonna go 3 blocks out, cut these 2 blocks where it ends, cut that one more down along with that one, and then if you do it correctly, you should be able to just grab your sluice and place it down by right clicking. There you go. And right now it's not activated because the water has nowhere to go. So the way we fix it is that last dirt, we just pop that one out and bam, it works now. And you also know it's working if you right click on it, it's gonna bring up a little interface. So now we see it says sluice 0 out of 50 and it has some inventory slots on the right side. That's actually not actually an inventory. You can't put anything in there. This is where the output comes from. So if I was to do this and grab all of my gold pans that I filled up already, and I just simply right click on it, go through and right click, you're gonna notice this soil on the left is now at 21 out of 50. All right, now it's 34, and you notice next to the water, that little arrow is moving to the right. That means it's processing all of that soil. So we're just gonna go ahead and fill that up and build ourselves a second one. Oh, it's getting nighttime. All right, so we'll leave that running for now. we'll go get some sleep, and then we will be right back. All right, guys, I'll be right back. All right, guys, and we are back. It's morning time. We are ready to do this one more time. All right, so let's go fill these up. I suggest that you guys build your sluice and all those things nearby where you live or where you're going to be working at. That way it keeps it chunk loaded and it's always working for you. Because if you build it some place far away, there's no way to load those chunks, and it's just going to sit there until you actually go over there and load those chunks up. So build it nearby, so that way you can check up on it, refill it. Keep a chest nearby so you can just dump all of these inside of the chest when you're not using them and you have them readily accessible. All right, so bam, there we go. Thank God it's working. All right, so the soil stopped. It does that sometimes. It's like a little glitch, but it's still processing. So you can still dump dirt into it and it'll go back to showing you where it's really at. But yeah, so we found ourselves some ore, which is good. And then we found ourselves some flawed beryl. From my experience, most of the jewels and things that you find, just keep them in a chest, because right now your main focus is these guys. That's what you want. You want the ores because you want to get out of the Stone Age and move yourself on up to be able to start crafting some real tools and real weapons. So we're just gonna fill that guy right back up, and then we will craft another one so you guys can get an idea of how to do this, or we'll build ourselves another one. Let me rephrase that. Okay, so real simple, just knock all the dirt down as far as the water will go, which I think is 8 blocks in this mod. So all right, so water stopped there. I built 3 out. Dig these 2 down 1 more, and then grab your sluice and right click, bam, done. Then you just knock that one out and then it activates it, so you're good to go. All right, I'm just gonna build the 3rd one just for the hell of it, as if I didn't cover it well enough. Okay, so now we got ourselves a way to gather up ores, which is good. We need a way to gather up ores besides running around and grabbing stones, because the stones, I don't think they regenerate either. So once you pick up enough, that's about it. That's all you get. So once they're out, it's out, and you have to basically have enough or go scavenge around for another area. And these sleuths, if I read correctly on the wiki, it checks a 50 by 50 by 50 block underneath the ground. So if you build this in a general area of, like, you know how we were finding all those ores nearby when we were hitting the rocks and picking them up, if you do that nearby where all the rocks are and you build those guys, you're gonna most likely find a lot of ores. See how I just keep finding them over here, which means that underneath, once we get to the actual mining part, we're gonna find a lot of stuff. So that's a good thing. Okay, so now you're probably saying, Dizzy, I got myself all kinds of ore and I need to do something with this because it's just stacking up. My chests are getting full, I'm running out of trees, they're not growing back fast enough, and I need to do something with this. So what do we do with that? Okay, so I did a little bit of scavenging. I found myself a good amount of these little ores. So I need to do something with them now also. All right, well, what do we do with them? Probably smelt them down, right? That's what you're thinking? Okay. Well, we actually need a couple of different things before we can start smelting items down. And the first item we're gonna need is clay. And I think I used up all of my clay. So let me just check real quick. And there was my clay. Yeah, so we're out of clay. So if you don't remember finding clay, you can find it on the surface or you can find it in the ground or underneath the water. So there's some clay right here. That's going to be too low for me to be able to mine it out. I think that's too low. So let's just go back to the spot where we found the clay earlier, which isn't too far. It's a couple blocks away from my house. and I will show you guys what you're gonna need in order to be able to start processing all of these ores. Because it is a lot of work, but once you get it going, it's actually quite fun, just because there's a lot of little things we're gonna need to do. And we're gonna need some of those little jellyfish guys. Jellyfish, squid, calamari, whatever you wanna call it. We need those guys. So we gotta come back. Do I have javelins? Oh, I do have javelins. Okay. Javelins and a knife. Alright, so grab yourself some clay. If you're not in a hurry, then just sit here and mine it all out, because you're gonna need clay eventually, and lots of it. For the time being, I'm just gonna get what I need, which isn't too much. And of course, with these with these stone tools, it's the slowest, most painful thing in the world, but hey, gotta do it. Because you can't advance without having to go through the fun part of being in the Stone Age. So, alright, so now we got ourselves these guys. And on my way back home, I'm gonna stop by this little friend over here, since he's just hanging out anyways. He doesn't really care to be alive. And grab him. Come here, mother. There we go. Okay. So, if you do end up in the water, and you are nearby some of these little squid guys, just grab yourself a couple of them, because you're gonna need them also. Oh. Come on. Come on, squid guy. Okay. Don't mind me. I'm just, you know, crafting away. Okay, where are you? Is there any nearby? Alright, come on. You get this. Well, I was pro at it last time around. No, not so much. Alright, so let's just grab that real quick. Grab some XP, and we're good to go. Okay, so heading on back. Damn, this stuff is everywhere. This is gonna be nuts when we get to the actual mining part, because I can almost guarantee that we're gonna hit the hugest vein of whatever that stuff's called, bismuthinite. I need to figure out how to actually pronounce that, because yeah, not doing a very good job. All right, so we managed to get ourselves 12 clay. All right, so grab your clay, put it in your crafting table, and what you're gonna make is something that looks kind of like there we go. I knew it was something like that. Okay, so make yourself some clay molds. Clay mold, you say? What do we need clay molds for? Well, let me show you guys. So I'm gonna grab myself some wood, put away my pans because we don't need those right now, and we're gonna head on down inside the house. Because what do we have inside our house? This should look familiar to you guys. We got a fire pit inside the house. How awesome is that? Okay, so now we got ourselves our logs. We need our fire starter. So we grab our fire starter, right click on our thing, and we're good to go. All right, so now we place our molds inside of there. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna start heating up, and eventually it's gonna cook this down into something that we're gonna need to be able to smelt these guys down. So this part right here is basically the part where you guys are gonna be grinding it out. So collect as much of this stuff as possible, and then that way you guys can basically just sit here for a while and do this. What I like to do is I like to build multiple fire pits. So we got ourselves some sticks, fire starter. Okay, so while I'm gonna leave this cooking down, it's pretty hot right now, and I'm just gonna build a couple more out here just to speed things along. So 3, and then bam. Okay, of course when I try to do it, it's never gonna work, is it? All right, so we got that one going. Make one more. I gotta make another fire starter. No, you guys sit on the floor. All right, so now we got ourselves 3 of these guys. So let's just see how awesome that is, being able to just go inside your house, right click on your roof, and grab logs out of it. That's another cool little part of having logs as your roof. All right, so now we got ourselves a ceramic mold. We'll pop another one in there. we'll go over here, we'll pop one in there, put another log in there, and we'll put that last log in there, and there we go. So now we got 3 of them going. This is what I usually like to do. I'll usually build 4 of them. 4 of them inside this area would work out. I think they to work pretty good. I mean, you could build this inside a little hole like we did in the first episode, but to be able to get really hot and functional, you want to have some open space around it. I think 2 blocks is good, something like that. But yeah, so just let these guys cook down, and once they start cooking down, we can get started on this part of it. So we have 1 of these. I'm waiting for the first one to go, and there we go. We just got our second one. I'm just gonna go ahead and put these guys in there. You can't put multiple ones in there, but you can leave them in there, and what's gonna happen is they're just gonna start stacking on top of each other. So don't worry too much about putting extra amounts in there without taking them out. You can leave them in there and they'll just sit inside of there. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So okay, so grab some ceramic molds, just put them on the bottom part of it, don't put them on the top. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna grab these guys and just place them down. There you go. Now they're gonna start heating up, and these ceramic molds are gonna catch whatever when this stuff does melt, because it will reach a point when it melts down, it's gonna catch everything that it melts in there. And like I said, this is gonna take a while, so don't expect you to drop 2 of them in there and then it's gonna fill up. This is actually gonna take quite a while. So I'll show you guys about how quick it goes. I'm just gonna make the rest of these molds. So I'm just gonna take that one out. All right, so those should be good to go. Is that it? That's it, okay. So who cares about those guys? All right, so our focus is this. See how it's getting very hot now? And then it's gonna eventually move up to the next tier. So we'll leave it there for now. And now you guys just saw, it went from very hot and it popped in there, and now it is liquid. So we would just put another one in there, and then eventually that little red bar is gonna go all the way to the right, and it's gonna fill up the whole bismuth unshaped ingot, and you have your first ingot. How awesome is that? I think it's pretty awesome. That's, yeah. Especially when you work so hard to get all those little guys. I think that's pretty awesome. All right, so, oh yeah, let me show you guys, do I have? I'm trying to think if I showed you guys the other part. Okay, so we'll leave that part going. Oh, it's about to pop in there. I think it's very hot with 2 stars is when it actually falls down into the, that ceramic mold. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. Yep. So it just popped in there. So we'll let that guy go for a little bit, and then once I fill that up, we'll come back and then I'll show you guys what the next step is. All right, so we will be right back. And we are back, guys. All right, so what do we have here? What is this? Could it be our very first ingot? Well, can we craft with it? Let's put that in there and see if we can make something with it. A shovel maybe? No. So what do we do with these unshaped ingots? Well, they're still in their ceramic mold, so can't really do anything with them. But let me show you guys what you can actually do with it. All right, so for this, you're gonna need yourself, put all this stuff away. You're gonna need your ingot, you're gonna need a hammer, you're gonna need a fire starter, and some sticks, along with some logs. So let's grab some. Oh, you guys want to see what happens when I take all the logs out? Oh, we got ourselves a hole. How awesome is that? All right, so let's put that back in there because we don't need all. All right, so let's get out of here. Oh yeah, and real quick, if you guys do find sequoias, I'll show you guys those right now. But take a look at these log piles. See that little log pile, and then see this log pile? Okay, this is a normal tree. This is a sequoia. The amount of wood you receive from a sequoia is retarded. I mean, you get a huge amount of wood. So you find those guys, you are good to go on wood for a little bit. But the bad part about sequoias is you can't grab saplings from them. So unless you find them on the floor, and if you want to know what a sequoia looks like, they're right over here. Let's see if I can go over real quick. It's those huge tall trees. It's the only tree besides the kapok tree that has a 2x2 trunk, so that's a pretty easy way to tell. And over here we have willow, which is a really good source of wood, which is what I was using to cook up a lot of the stuff I needed, especially the torches. Willow, you're gonna want to have a little farm of those. Lucky for me, I'm right in between some sequoias and some willows, so we're good to go. But okay, so back to our little ingot we have over here. Well, we don't have any other way to do this except going out into the woods or into the wild and finding something that looks like this. It doesn't have to be this shape, it just has to be a rock. And what these rocks are basically is just really hard rock. If I grab the shovel, it's not going to do anything to it. You're not going to be able to break these or knock them down or anything. But what you can do is you can grab your hammer, just go up to it, right click. What was that? This is now an anvil. So it's a pretty rudimentary anvil. It's just a piece of stone. And it works on any of them. So you can just walk up to any piece of it, bam, you get yourself an anvil. Bam, you get yourself an anvil. So you right click and you grab your hammer and you place it on this left side. There's this slot right here. That's where you place your hammer. Okay, so now we can work this ingot into something usable. Well, as of right now, I don't have the other items that we need to be able to craft it. So let me go back because I totally forgot that we are going to need some other items in order to be able to move on to the next tier. So I'm trying to debate whether or not I should cover that now or on the next episode, but you guys know how to get your ores. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it up at this point, and when I get back, I'm going to show you guys how to progress out of the Stone Age and get yourself your first pick. How's that sound? And I'll give you a hint. It's not as complicated as actually getting the ores is. So yeah, I'll just wrap it up here. Don't forget, build yourself a little chest nearby for your sleuths, and then make sure they're always full. That way when you come check on them, you can just get whatever's left inside of them. So that'll about do it for me. I should have a couple more episodes here pretty soon. So that about wrap it up, guys. I'm Dizzy Aaron, and I am out.